Hey, for you fans of the World of Warcraft trading card game, we got a couple cards to go over. Cryptozoic currently has their Dark Moon Fair over in Chicago, and we've had a couple of legal leaks that I'd like to talk about. So let's start with Zarvix the Tormentor. He's a Goblin Priest ally, cost 5, Horde of course, and he has Time is Money. For a refresher, Time is Money is where you can use the exhaust power immediately. Excuse me. Exhaust this card. Target player puts the top card of his deck into his graveyard for each goblin you control. Now with this set, in World Breaker, goblins were introduced, and now I think they're becoming more viable as a deck type. This is kind of revamping the milling effect. The mill decks aren't really that efficient in the World of Warcraft trading card game, but I'm really hoping that Zarvix turns this around. He's a 2 attack, 7 health, so he'll stay around for a little bit. Next up, we got Fire-Etched Dagger. Costs 3. This is for druids, mages, priests, shamans, and warlocks. It's a one-handed weapon dagger. When this weapon enters play, you may put target Dragonkin ally from your graveyard into your hand. Cost 2. Exhaust your hero. Your hero deals 1 fire damage to target hero or ally for each Dragonkin you control. Oh boy. Well, where do we start with this one? When the weapon enters play, you can put a Dragonkin ally from your graveyard into your hand. I haven't really seen much of the new Dragonkin allies. They're introducing the bronze and the blue Dragonflights in War of the Elements. In World Breaker, they released the ruby and the green Dragonflight, or emerald, excuse me. And this could be pretty useful depending on what card you're trying to get back. And for, I would think mages, especially with draw power, this would be pretty good. Cost 2, exhaust your hero. Your hero deals 1 fire damage to target hero or ally for each Dragonkin you control. Yeah, you definitely want to build this up with a Dragonkin deck, and I highly recommend comboing Fire-Etched Dagger with Corial Straws. Here we go. Ragnaros the Firelord. Ally, Fire Elemental, Lord neutral, of course. Fire Elementals you control have Ferocity. At the start of your turn, put a 2/1 Fire Damage type Fire Elemental ally token into play. Destroy a Fire Elemental you control. This ally deals 1 fire damage to target hero or ally. So he's got 5 attack and 6 health. Now, Ragnaros, from what I've seen from the other Elemental Lords, he's very similar, and he'll affect his plane type of elemental, such as fire and fire, earth and earth. You get my point. But there's some other cards I'm going to go over as well that really synergize with Ragnaros, and I highly suspect for the other lords there are cards and locations that'll synergize with them as well. Bronze Guardian. This is one of the new Bronze Dragonkin allies. Costs 3. Protector. When this ally enters play, if you control no ready resources, you may draw a card. I would think this would be pretty good for most decks because most people, when they tend to play cards, they're going to, as much as possible, they're going to try to use every resource they can to get the most out of their mana pool. So I think this would be pretty good for a cost 3. Use 3 of your resources, get a free card. Azure Drake, cost 2. This is one of the new blue ally Dragonkins. When you play an ability, this ally heals 2 damage from target hero or ally. It's a 1/4, so it'll stay around for a little bit, but it's okay. It's pretty good for a common, but it's okay as a card. You could probably see some good use if you needed to heal. Yeah, Tempest Totem, cost 4. I'll go over this really briefly. There's a new errata with totems as soon as War of the Elements comes out. All previous totems and all current totems will become ability allies. So if you're trying to fetch them out of a deck, graveyard, your hand, wherever, they're going to count as both abilities and allies. If you have a card that says pick 3 cards of a type from anywhere, you can't have a totem count as an ability and an ally. It can count as an ability or an ally, but 1 slot, 1 card. Anyway, let's get to the card. Water Totem. Restoration. Ongoing. When this card enters play, you may put target totem from your graveyard into hand. Grounding Totem. You pay 1 less to play totems to a minimum of 1. This will be good for decks that are trying to run totems. Anything that makes you pay 1 less to play totems, yeah, I'd definitely pack this. Now this next card I like. This is going to redefine Arms Warrior. Fury. Wild Hammer, cost 7 for warriors only. Fury talent. You cannot put arms or protection talents in your deck. I'll explain that later. Your hero has 2-handed dual wield. Nice. When you control no ready resources, you may pay 7 less to strike with the 2-handed weapon. This card is pretty self-explanatory. Pure awesomeness. Here's another interesting twist on Shaman. Totemic Vigor, cost 3 ability. It's an enhancement talent. Ongoing, totems you control have +2 health. Your hero has assault 1 for each totem you control. Very nice if you're packing totems and you're packing weapons. There's another ally. It is a alliance ally that'll increase the health of your totems, and the previous water restoration totem that we went over. Oh, wait. No, that's not a restoration required, I don't believe, so sweet! Alright, so here's another one of the Earth Elemental Lords. This is Therasane. Kind of looks like Ursula. That was my very first comment when I ran into her in the online game. Earth Elementals you control have Protector. At the start of your turn, put a 2/1 melee damage Earth Elemental ally token into play. Destroy an Earth Elemental you control. Ready target hero or ally you control. I can't really comment on this too much because I haven't seen the other cards that synergize with Therasane, but she's a 3 attack, 9 health, so she'll probably be around for a while on the board. Stevrona Forgemender, costs 3 alliance ally. Really hope there's something similar to the Horde on the Horde side. Token allies you control have +1/+1. Freaking sweet. Pretty self-explanatory. I would probably guess for token decks. I know Shamans are going to get tokens. Druids already have tokens. This will probably be a pretty nice and viable card to use. And not to mention with the new elementals. This card right here is going to redefine the meaning of Rogue. Cost 3, Shadow Dance. Some pretty cool card art. Subtlety talent. Your hero has Assault 2 and Stealth this turn. Ongoing, when you play a Rogue ability, your hero has Assault 2 and Stealth this turn. Crap. You could really combo this out as a good finisher if you know what you're doing in the end game. It'll give you an instant Assault 2 and Stealth, which will give you a little nice juice. You could start throwing out poisons if you have that type of deck. But when you play a Rogue ability, you're going to get Assault 2 and Stealth this turn. You play another one, it's going to keep stacking and stacking and stacking. So I would think you need to be careful when you're using this, but if you have the draw power, go for the kill. The next card I have to review is Rakzi the Earthgraced, cost 2, Goblin Shaman. This ally has Assault 1 for each equipment you control. You know what? I can see this is pretty viable for 2 types of decks. The Heirloom concept, which a lot of decks are taking advantage of these days, and also just like the solo decks that are just using equipment and not too many allies. Rakzi the Earthgraced would really fit well into those types of decks. The next ability here is for warriors. Peerless Guard, cost 1, and it's an instant. Ooh, that's nice protection. It's a common? You're going to get a kick out of this. The next time combat damage will be dealt to a target defending ally you control this turn, it's dealt to your hero instead. Draw a card. This could be really helpful because warriors have a lot of health, but this is something warriors have really needed for a while because paladins have had cards like Courageous Defense, and although warriors have had Duty Bound, it cost 1 more. And here, not only do you get to mitigate damage if you really need to keep an ally alive, you get to draw a card. That's a pretty sweet card for a common, in my opinion. So here's the next card we're looking at. Mystical Refreshment. This is going to be one of my favorites for building a deck around. Draw a card for each arcane ally you control. There is so much synergy with all the old vintage cards, as well as a couple of core cards too, where if you build a deck of allies full of arcane, you could probably get some bonuses and buffs. But it's too bad Druid didn't get this kind of attention because, well, okay, fair point. Druids have Earth and Moon, which gives +2 to Arcane and Nature. And Nature damage was the kind of the damage theme of the last set, Worldbreaker, and this time it's going to be Arcane. So Druids, eat your heart out. Yes, I am a Druid. Maxle the Blaster. I don't know, sounds kind of pornographic. Cost 3. Time is money. Exhaust this card. The next time target hero or ally you control would deal arcane damage this turn, it deals that much +2 instead. Yes! Like this. It's kind of like Inspiring Presence for the Horde, except it's time is money. She's a cost 3 and she's a 2/4. It's not bad, but we really need to look at what we're getting here in the exhaust power rather than her stats. If your hero's dealing any kind of arcane damage, and there are plenty of abilities from Vintage and from Core that are doing arcane damage, you can even target an ally. It deals that much +2 instead. If you could stack this, I think you could build a viable mage deck around this. Even Druids can probably use Maxle the Blaster as well. Alright, this show wouldn't be anything without a little bit of controversy. I've only got... really? I only got 20 seconds. Well, I'm going to show you this card anyway, but we're going to go over this in the next episode. Loke. Cost 7 for Beastmaster Hunters. Let me know what you think of the new cards for War of the Elements.